Tinfoil hat. Oh, what the fuck are you guys even talking about?
Global controls will have to be imposed, and a world governing body will be created to enforce them.
Welcome to Tinfoil Hat. We go deep, homeboy. Aaron, open your mind. Drink from the fountain of knowledge. There's lizard people everywhere. That's some interdimensional shit. Wake up, Aaron.
This is only the beginning.
Dude, you just blew my mind.
Are you ready to get your mind blown?
All right, welcome to Tinfoil Hat, live from the Wise Wolf Gold and Silver Studio. That's right, go to SamTripoli.gold. Use the promo code Tinfoil, and you too can get in the Precious Metals game for as little as $50. I even think they got a $35 level. So check it out, and we appreciate them sponsoring the show. Joining me is a very good friend of mine. He is a hard worker. He's a good guy. He's seen some crazy stuff. We're very close. Please welcome, again, for one of many times, please welcome Ryan Burns. How are you, Ryan?
Fantastic, Sam. Thanks so much for having me on.
Ryan, always a pleasure. You and I talk all the time. For those who may not be familiar with you, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and where our listeners can find you?
You bet. I've got a small podcast known as Hero Paranormal. You can find that on YouTube or heroparanormal.com. And I have a little operation that is up in the Uinta Basin of Utah that shares a fence line with the old Bigelow Ranch, more famously known as the Skinwalker property. And yeah, you can check that out at spacewolfresearch.com.
All right, man. So listen, dude, you know, you've invited us out to Skinwalker a bunch of times. Johnny wants to go. XG wants to go. I'm pretty sure Ice isn't out there, so XG should be fine. Okay?
Yeah, I'll be fine there.
Okay.
Fine there.
We all want to go out there. So Ryan, where does your journey start? How did you get into this world?
You know, this is such a good question, Sam.
Thank you.
And I get it all the time. And nobody gets the prequel. Nobody gets the prequel. And you guys are going to get the prequel. It is, everybody gets the, you know, oh, I was a fly fishing guide and I stumbled upon it and wow, it's crazy. But there's more to it than that. I was born in Costa Rica and I would visit Costa Rica every summer. My parents, my mom was from there. My dad was from California, but they wanted me to learn Spanish and keep in touch with my family. So every summer they would send me to Costa Rica, even though it was hard on them and financially. And it was great. It was a great experience. But on one particular trip when I was about 11 years old, I stayed at an aunt's house. And this aunt's house had this room that was like deep in the middle of the property, and it didn't have any windows. It was in the middle of the house. There was only one entrance, and I came to find out that my dad had actually rented that room when he was dating my mom. And fast forward, that room comes into play a little bit later. Kind of eerie. But anyway, I was 11 watching, I remember the movie. I remember everything. We were watching like American Ninja. I wasn't supposed to be watching movies that were that like hardcore.
I love American Ninja.
Yeah, it's the best.
Those are great movies.
It is. Super cheesy. Great stuff. I loved it. And it was time to go to sleep. So I went to go to sleep and I was watching it with my cousin. And I went to sleep. Or tried to go to sleep. And as I said, there's only one entrance in or out of this room. And I'm laying there on the bed and I feel something grab my toe. And it feels like it's got claws. And I at first think it's my cousin messing with me. And I'm like, come on, man. And whatever it is grabs my toe and pulls so hard that I literally fell off the bed. I like came off the bed, freaked out, turned on the light, looked around the room, looked under the bed, small room. There's really nothing going on. It's a poured concrete home. I mean, nobody snuck in. And I'm just like, what happened? So I checked the door. The door is closed. Nobody came in. I turn off the light. I try to lay down again. And the same thing happens again, even more forcefully, like just pulls me out of bed. My toes like all red and jacked up. And I'm just freaking out at this point. I'm 11 years old, so I'm not a kid. And I'm like, well, you've got to figure something out. And aside from running and asking to sleep with my aunt or cousin or anything, I just decided to drop to my knees and pray. And that's exactly what I did. And this little, like, still small voice kind of just said, leave the light on. And that's what I did. I slept with the light on. So that comes into play later. That particular room later on, I had an aunt that is actually, it was my great aunt that I was staying at. Her daughter was seeing a cattleman a rancher who had a wife that was a witch. So they were kind of doing some shenanigans. And allegedly this wife that was a witch cursed this daughter of hers.
What?
Yeah. And she had all kinds of events happen in that same room. And it got so bad that she eventually went into a coma for over 2 years. And she didn't pop out of that coma until the witch actually died. So that was my
That
first
is so crazy, dude.
paranormal experience. And that comes into play with how I found this property. So this property, I was working as a fly fishing guide up in Flaming Gorge, which isn't far from there. And I had a buddy that was like a big Freemason, and he was into like rock gardens, and he found these rocks that would glow in the dark. And he's like, yeah, these, you can find them here. And I said, oh man, I need to get some of these. If I could have like, I would have the coolest house in town, with like a rock garden that glows in the dark. And so I went out with my truck and I was loading these things up, and all fly fishing guides are in Tevas, sandals. And I'm loading them up and I see a light coming through the trees, and I dropped one of the bigger rocks and it like landed on my foot and broke my toe.
Oh, man.
Same toe that thing pulled in that same room.
Oh, my God.
And I'm looking at the light because I dropped the rock because I'm thinking this could be a forest ranger. This could be, law enforcement. These rocks are probably something they don't want me taking.
Yeah. Like, you're not allowed to take like seashells from the beach. Sometimes they'll tell you like you're not allowed to take it. It's not your property. So I could see you freaking out over the rocks.
Yeah, man. I'm like, I'm going to get in trouble for taking rocks. And I looked at the light, and it wasn't a forest ranger. It wasn't law enforcement. It like floated off into the air. And I was just like, wait a minute. So that was weird. But then I'm dealing with this broken toe that's just a mess. It was a compound fracture. The bone shot out of the end of the toe.
Oh, my God.
There's just blood everywhere. So the closest medical is about an hour away. Long story short, I eventually get down there. And they say, okay, you can't, everything's fine, we think, but you can't get the toe wet. Well, this is like the worst advice or anything you can hear if you're a fly fishing guide. You can't get the toe wet. So I had to take some time off work, and I basically started looking for fresh water to fish on my days off. That's how I came across this random ranch road. And back then they had zero security. There wasn't even a gate. You could just drive right in to this Skinwalker area.
Where is this, Utah?
This is in Utah. It's right in the Uinta Basin of Utah. And so I was driving, looking for this waterway below what's known as Bottle Hollow Reservoir. There should be a tailwater down there to fish. And as I'm driving below this red rock ridge, I see this elderly Native American kind of coming down off the ridge, moving very robotically. And so I rolled down my window and I said, hey, do you need a ride? There was no response. Came right up to the window and just climbed right in. And I remember it was like seconds, and I was in tears. Like it felt like this thing was like picking and choosing memories out of my mind, like kind of like a mind. Yeah, it was like going through my brain like a Rolodex, taking all the emotional highs and the bad things, the good things, anything of value, like archonically feeding off of my memories. I lost about 3 hours of time, and they found me back up at the reservoir on the other side of the ridge. This was the Bureau of Indian Affairs that found me. I was kind of hanging out of the truck, catatonic, with my seatbelt holding me in.
Fuck.
And they said, just tell us exactly what happened. I tell them this crazy story. I'm like, what the hell? I'll just tell them the story. And they didn't seem that preoccupied. And one of them said, yeah, he got nabbed by the Skinwalker. Like, this is something they were apparently aware of. And that was my first bout with this area.
Now, do you think that the Skinwalker came down because he saw you driving?
I don't know. It probably didn't help that I yelled and was like, hey, you need a ride somewhere? Like, total clown move.
That's the most white people shit I've ever heard.
Totally.
Hey, Native American, would you like a ride? That's crazy, dude. So you probably got molested too by the Skinwalker.
You don't remember?
Yeah, I mean, we push those memories out. So this event happens, and what, you just want to learn more?
Yeah, I just kind of pushed it out of my mind. I'm like, I'll go back to work, which I did.
And you were living in this area at this
Yeah,
time.
I mean, more or less. And you know, it eventually kind of came back on me. Like something, this is wild. And it eventually kind of came back on me. I remember, fast forward quite a few years, I was working in Salt Lake for a hotel chain, and I had met somebody named Dave Rosenfeld. He goes by Alien Dave, and he was telling me all about this place and describing it to me, and I'm like, yeah, I've been there, man. And I talked to him about what had happened to me, and he said, you've got to get to the bottom of this. Like, there's this place like chose you for whatever reason. You should really look into it. And I remember I quit my job. I moved to the area full time. I was researching full time. I was on the property all the time. And back then, I had no idea there was like this secret Pentagon black budget project taking place.
Whoa, really?
Yeah, it was crazy. And you know, I think they kind of liked me traipsing all over the place because it was kind of like like free bait. But they had something called ATIP and OSAP going on, which is the Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program, and then on the back end, the Advanced Aerospace Weapons Systems Application Program. And these were, at the time, extremely top secret. And believe it or not, they're still in the area. There are still some of the most top secret projects going on. And it's an amazing, they're different, but the same, kind of like different, same. They're always changing and morphing. And it's an area that the government's interested in.
Dude, that is crazy. Now, have you met a bunch of people that have gone through all the stuff that you went through? I mean, sure, you've just met a ton of them.
Yeah, I've met some interesting people. I've met, there's always the experiencers. I think the most interesting people are these government guys, though, that, they just kind of end up with like this project or this job, or, they're supposed to look into this or that. And they're just kind of like, oh, wow, this is happening. And those are
that's
my favorite.
interesting. I never thought about that.
Yeah.
They probably got like, I'm
going
gonna get in the FBI and I'm gonna fight terrorism. They're like, okay, you're gonna go to this ranch where these native elders molest people in their cars. Okay. And you're going to investigate and see if that stuff is real.
Those
That's
are my favorite
crazy
guys.
because they're probably going through the processing as well.
100%.
Yeah, like
100%.
calling moms. Their moms called like, so honey, how's the FBI been for you? Ugh. You got
Not
no
what I
idea,
signed
bro.
up for. Not what I signed up for.
Some guy was calling out to a Native American in the desert the other day. Yeah, we're pretty sure he got diddled up the butt. It's just crazy.
It's crazy, dude. It's crazy. So, let's get into space wolf research. What is that?
Yeah. Okay. So, Space Wolf Research is a property that we used to call the Southern Vantage Point. And I say we because all of the older researchers than myself, people like Jacques Vallée, Frank Salisbury, Junior Hicks, who would come to my house and talk to me, they
Wow,
would
what a
recommend.
crazy world.
Yeah, it was
man.
crazy. I didn't know Jacques Vallée was part of the National Institute for Discovery Science. I didn't know who he was. I was just like, this is such a nice guy. But this is where they recommended kind of getting 360-degree views, looking down upon the ranch. You could look in every direction. And this is another ranch that sat vacant for quite some time and has kind of a sordid history, which with some really freaky stuff that I found out about after I purchased it that had happened in the past there. Tons of stuff. But yeah, when it became available for sale, I mean, the place was a dump. So it had been abandoned for a long time. There wasn't a whole lot of, there wasn't a bidding war, so to speak. And as soon as I convinced my wife, hey, you should let me buy this dog, I was in. And that's kind of where it started.
Oh, so people will sell their part of this like kind of mystical area?
Well, this one's interesting. So it sat vacant for a long time. And I remember this one guy told me, "Hey, this was of interest to national security." He was showing me paperwork that said Solar Warden on it, and I thought, like this is all got to be fake, and it looked really real. Like everything he showed me looked really real. I still don't know if it was real, but he said basically, this you should get this if you can because it's an area of national security. And a lot of the ranchers in the area have seen a lot of weird things. There's this wild experience that these three medical professionals had out there. They went out on a weekend. They wanted to kind of jumpstart things. They didn't want to wait around for it to hit the fan, and so they poured out some animal blood and did some sigils in the dirt.
Oh.
Yeah, and it got insane. And they kind of came forward with some of this information. It was a guy named Rich Oliver, April Slaughter, and another guy named Matt, and they all claimed they got nasal implants. The big guy, Rich Oliver, died of brain cancer shortly afterwards, and they all said they had a nasal implant that more or less under reverse regression when they got hypnotized. They believed that whatever put the nasal implant in them wanted them to take more people out to the property. Kind of like this thing wanted to play with people, right? Like a cat and a mouse.
Oh my
And now
God.
you're the one now inviting us to the property, which is
Ooh.
We'll play it
Oh
safe.
shoot, man.
Yeah.
Didn't even think of that. Johnny, Detective Johnny.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
So what exactly is space wolf research?
Okay, so it started out pretty simple. It was just, a little bit of acreage, and it's where I would go, and I could go with my buddies, and we could engage with the phenomena without having to trespass, and go to Guantanamo. And so that's kind of my original thought is I don't want to run anymore. I just want somewhere where I can kick my feet up and do this and not get in trouble. That's how it started. And then things got weird, like really weird. So everybody and their dog wanted to go out on it. At first, I let everybody and their dog on it, and things got even weirder. I had government types approaching me to buy the property.
Was it really pricely well? Were they pricing it well?
Yeah, so it was now that I look back, I guess I got a smoking deal. It was priced really well for the area. And now it's like the prices are just absolutely insane out there. And that's an elephant in the room too. That we can go down that rabbit hole. But yeah, the price per acre out there is just so astronomically high. And I've got very interesting neighbors, and let's just say that the previous regime allegedly sold this for like a very low amount compared to going rates, right? But yeah, it Space Wolf Research, the reason I called it that is because we would all say, let's go out to SWR. And that name's now trademarked. So instead of saying SWR, we would just say Space Wolf Research, and we could still say SWR. And leaving the property one night, everybody asks, why does it have like the wolf in the triangle with the eye patch? And I was leaving the property one night, and it took forever to get it. Like, they were on and off. They wanted to sell it. They didn't want to sell it. It was mortgaged to the hilt. It would like all this weird stuff. And there was this potential for like government involvement, but I was leaving the property and I see this huge wolf, and they're not supposed to be in the area. And it was just sitting in the middle of the road. And I remember I drove up to this wolf, and I got my car like 6 feet away from it, and it just wouldn't move. And it was just like looking over my hood at me, and it was missing an eye, and it just like freaky. And that's when I like had that come to Jesus moment. Like, no, you got to go all in on this or not at all. Like, you just got to go all in on this, no matter what. You got to get this place. So I slapped an eye patch on the wolf because it looked kind of crude to have the wolf there with like a big gaping hole. So anyway, that's where I got the imagery for it.
Hey guys, real quick, I want to tell you about our new sponsor, Mando. I want to tell you why they're unique and different than any other deodorant, okay? You know why? Because they were created by a doctor who saw firsthand how normal BO was being misdiagnosed and mistreated. It's clinically proven to block odor all day and control odor for up to 72 hours, man. Mando's deodorant products have 2 options for you. They got the solid deodorant stick, formulated and powered by mandelic acid to stop odor before it starts. Thank you very much. And spray deodorant, okay? Aluminum free and ideal for hard to reach places. Get in it to win it, okay? All their products are baking soda free and paraben free. That sounds awful, whatever that is.
Parabens, is that what it is?
I just know we're free of it, okay?
Parabens are
That's
bad.
all I know. All right? You can choose from a variety of fresh scents like bourbon leather and Clover Woods and Mount Fuji or Pro Sport. I'm in already. Anything Mount Fuji, I'm in, dude. I am in. Clinically proven to control odor better than a shower with soap alone, okay? 12 hours after a shower, the average man grundle odor levels was a 5 out of 10. With Mando, the average grundle odor was 0 out of 10. Zip, nada, nothing, okay? Want to try America's #1 whole body deodorant formula right now? You can now find them in Walmart, Target, and other retailers across the country. For the best details, go to Shop Mando. Dude, actually, you were talking about how much you loved it. Tell us about it.
Dude, I'm Mexican. I need a 72 hour,
You work hard for your money.
Yes, I work hard for my money. I need 72 hours. So, and it's summertime. What more do you need than a 72
Tell us about how much your woman tells you about how much she loves
it's,
Mando.
It's the only reason she gets in bed. I work hard. I work hard and I need to smell good after. So it's all Mando.
Oh, dude, imagine you smell good with bad knees. That's our friend XG. Mando's starter pack is perfect for new customers. It comes with solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice. Okay, your choice. Mini body wash and deodorant wipes. Hello, and free shipping. As a special offer for our listeners, tinfoil hat, the Swarm, okay? For just the Swarm, we're just doing it for the Swarm here, okay? This is what we're doing. There's special offers for the Swarm. New customers get 20% off site-wide with our exclusive code. Use the code tinfoil at shopmando.com for 20% off site-wide plus free shipping. That's shopmando.com. Please support our show and tell them we sent you. Mando's got you covered, okay? Protect your pits. Smell great. And we thank them for sponsoring the show. Hey guys, I was just talking to my friend the other day, and he was talking about this one wireless provider is murking him on these bills. Okay, just murking him, and that's why I want to tell you about our good friends at Mint Mobile. You're not going to have to worry about these ridiculous charges out of nowhere when you go with Mint Mobile for your mobile phone provider. Let me tell you about Mint Mobile. With plans starting at $15 a month, Mint Mobile gives you premium wireless service on the nation's largest 5G. The coverage and the speed you used, but way less money. So while your friends are sweating over data overages and surprise charges, you'll be chilling literally and financially, okay? I use this and you should too. If you need something like this, like you need a new phone program, you're getting a second phone, this is what I do. Seriously, it's quality service. Mint Mobile service is really quality, especially compared to all the other providers. I love Mint Mobile. I'm very thankful for Mint Mobile, okay? Say goodbye to your overpriced wireless plans, jaw-dropping monthly bills, and unexpected overages. Mint Mobile is here to rescue all plans with high-speed data, unlimited talk and text delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. Your own phone. You can use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and bring your phone number along with your existing contracts. Ditch the overpriced wireless and get 3 months of premium wireless service from Mint Mobile for $15 a month. It's quality service, dude. In comparison to the other ones, I mean, the other ones are like, oh, I'm the big mobile people. And I'll be like, dude, you're cutting out. I can't hear you. Where am I? Where am I? Am I in a mountain deep in Afghanistan and I can't get connection?
Can you hear me now? No,
can you hear me now?
I cannot.
I can't hear you now. Okay, so this is what we need you to do. This year, skip the breaking of sweat and breaking the bank. Get your summer savings and shop premium wireless programs at mintmobile.com/tinfoil. That's mintmobile.com/tinfoil. Upfront payments of $45 for 3 months. 5 gigabyte plan required, equivalent to $15 a month. New customers offer for the first 3 months only. Then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See Mint Mobile for details. And we thank them for sponsoring the show. So it's basically a business where people can come and try to experience Skinwalker Ranch.
Well, yes and no. It's closed to the public, but it's open to people who have like deputy chief scientists or people that have an actual basis to research. If they're people that really want to get to the bottom of what's going on and they come to me and they have an actual plan of attack, and they're not just yahoos and they don't want to just go out there and willy-nilly have a Burning Man experience. But if they're people that are actually in this particular like quantum engineers, rocket scientists, neuroscientists, I've kind of Space Wolf itself is kind of really my focus is neurotheology, which is kind of like an emerging new scientific study which looks at how we compartmentalize experiences. And so what I find very interesting is if somebody sees a UFO, or if somebody sees what they believe is an alien, or if somebody sees what they believe is an angel or a demon, the brain will compartmentalize that in the exact same filing cabinet. And I think there's a reason for that.
We're wired for that, right? Like there's a part of us that doesn't want to know about this, or that even in some grand design, we're not supposed to be able to know about this, maybe?
100%. And it's one of these things that, are you willing to gain all the answers to the universe if you lose yourself? Because that's what you have. You have to tap the brakes a lot.
Great question. Mm-hmm. And that is like what's they called? The dilemma for conspiracy theorists. It's the old saying, just know when you stare into the abyss stares right back into you. And like, how deep do you want to go? And what is that sacrifice when you go that deep?
Yeah. You never go full Cappy, Yeah.
You never want to go full Cappy. No. Ever. So I don't know if you were going to talk about this story, But when we talked recently, I brought up this story about the guy who thought he got attacked, or the group that got attacked by skinwalkers, dogmen. And do you know what story I'm talking about?
It's insane, dude.
Were
It's
you going to talk about it
insane.
later, or can you talk about it now? Because it's the craziest story.
Yeah, I'll hit it. I'll hit it. And I'm gonna really
Wait
quick.
till you hear
Like,
about this story, guys. It's
this
so
is
effing
madness.
nuts.
All right. So this story goes back to the first caretaker that I had on the property, who was like this tough guy.
That's someone that just takes care of the ranch, right? Pretty much.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, somebody that just stays there, takes care of it.
It's
Usually
literally
just
in the name, XG. It's literally.
Well, I
in
don't
the
know
name.
if he's got animals. I mean, it's just a ranch, though, right? He's just taking
Right.
care of the property.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kids could have kids. I don't know. Caretaker. I don't know.
No, yeah, he's you know, had a wife, had a kid, caretaker. He's just seemed it was a good gig for him. Didn't believe in any of this stuff, and I said, "Hey man, I didn't either, but just be aware if things get weird, let me know." And he had been there a very short period of time. I had some technology taken out to the property, cameras and such, and long story short, he's out there one night. He had a friend over, thank goodness, and they're out on the front porch, and they see these three figures jump over one of the barbed wire fences, and they're just messing with all the new stuff that I had taken out there, the cameras, the devices, and they're just throwing them around.
Whoa.
And he's looking at his buddy like, oh man, I'm going to have to actually do some work, right? I'm going to have to caretake. And so his buddy grabbed a rifle out of his truck, and the caretaker grabbed like a huge, like elephant gun out of his place. And they started walking down the road towards these guys, yelling at them, and there's just zero response. Nothing, no response back at all. And they're yelling at him like, hey guys, you have to go, you know, giving them chances to get out of there. Zero response, just wreaking havoc. So they got down pretty close, and finally they got the three's attention, and they kind of stood still, and they squared up on them with their rifles, and they're like, you guys are obviously trespassing, you're gonna have to leave. And when they got a little closer, all three kind of sat down on their haunches like they were dogs. And at this point, the two were kind of freaked out, the caretaker and his buddy. And something happened where, as they approached, the one in the middle got, I guess, spooked, and they all jumped up and darted at them. And I guess these two guys just unloaded their weapons on these things, and with zero effect. And they claim they hit them multiple times. It was close proximity. They were near these things. And instead of dropping any of them, they finally just turned around and ran and jumped over the fence and into the woods. So he called me. I remember it was after midnight, and he called me, and he's telling me this story. And I'm just like, oh my gosh. Oh man, you got to quit shooting at things. Like, we're going to be sharing a cell. And that was one of the first experiences that he and I had with some of the high strangeness.
But the story gets even crazier if I'm correct, because this is crazy. It's your story, because I saw this on a video. Someone was talking about it. So the things run off, right? And then the next day, three natives were found in their own homes, dead of gunshot wounds, and they found no guns anywhere, no nothing. They just had gone back to their houses, and they had died of gunshot wounds.
Yep, I called on my drive up. I remember I packed the car that night, and I started driving that night. It's an 8-hour drive from Vegas. And on the way, I called a number of legends in the field. I called Mr. Ryan Layton, Dr. True Watt, a very, very famous tracker that doesn't want his name out and a couple other people. And I said, you guys, I need you. Can you meet me at the property? They did. They talked to these guys. They verified their stories. We went back. We saw the casings and everything. Their stories lined up. And three of them, I can't remember which. I know for sure it was Truott and Ryan Layton. And I don't know.
Truott, we've had him on. He's great.
Yeah, he's great. They went around. They drove around to the other side to see what they could find, like the direction that these things were running. And they found something interesting, a scene of like wildlife, law enforcement, Bureau of Indian Affairs, regular police, the tribal fish and wildlife. So it was just like a menagerie of everything. And they were outside of a particular trailer, and he went up and he said, "Hey, can I ask you what happened?" And they said, "No, this is a closed crime scene. It's really weird." So he called somebody he knew that knew the sheriff and said, "Yeah, you can tell these guys what's going on, more or less." And what they said is it's unlike anything we've ever seen. They're dead. This one in particular, they found two others in other homes. And this one in particular, he's behind a locked door inside of a locked house with a gunshot wound. There's zero blood inside. And inside the house where he's at, the reason all the fish and wildlife and the tribal police and everybody's there is because there's an array of different pelts. And a lot of them are illegal and animal parts. And it looks like they were into some sort of like witchcraft, like tribal witchcraft.
Oh my God. I cannot believe that. And I saw that story. I can't believe you were connected to it because I remember telling you that when we were talking.
I saw that too on just randomly on Twitter. Yeah.
I can't believe that. Holy shit.
No, can I ask you? Okay, so the implication here, it seemed there are two options, right? There's one that they are not actually, it would suggest not physically inhabiting those creatures, but it's almost like a Matrix situation where if you die while you're inhabiting one of those creatures, whatever happens to them happens to you where you are. And then the other option is that they are, but they, struggled back to wherever they lived, wounded or whatever, and locked the door. What of those two do you think is most likely?
It's a catch-22. And this question really bothered me, Johnny, so I delved into it pretty deep. And I started befriending natives that friends connected me with who claimed that their family had one or more skinwalkers in the line, in the breed.
Whoa.
And it got weird quick. And I became really close friends with a lot of these people. And I remember one particular night, I got a call, and this guy said, "Hey, my mom and my brother, as you know, are both skinwalkers."
Whoa. Imagine if your mom is a skinwalker. A
Yeah,
skinwalker is a mom. Excuse me.
Yeah, they're supposed to be some of the most powerful, the females. And he was like, he's the odd man out, right? And he said, for months, neither one would talk to me. But this particular night, he said, "My mom said she'll finally talk to you if you come over." And so I went over, and I remember sitting on his front porch, and it was getting dark, and his mom was inside, and she wouldn't come out on the porch. And he said, "No, you're gonna have to go inside." He said, "But first, you're gonna have to eat one of these cookies." And I was like,
"Oh my God,
this is getting odd." And I was like, "Hey, I need to have answers." So I ate one of the cookies. And sure enough, things got weird after the cookie. And I went in and I talked.
I would have been scared it's laced or something.
Oh, I don't know what it was.
Well, now you're saying it got weird. Are you telling like psychedelic effects?
It was more or less just a heavy feeling, like this very strange. I'm sure that there was some something along those lines, but there was more to it. There was it was just a heaviness, right? And I went in and mom was sitting there and I got to ask mom some questions. And I asked her exactly what you said, Johnny. Like, what are we dealing with here? Are you guys actually, when you shift, is it like Teen Wolf where, you're turning into this and you go out in the field? Or is it more like remote viewing where you're here and yet you can go over there?
Right.
And she said, it depends on how adept you are. And if you are really good at it, you don't have to move. She said, I don't have to move from this chair. I can go anywhere I want.
Whoa.
And so, in summary, I guess it's kind of like a wide genre.
Whoa.
Fascinating.
Wow. It's almost like a video game in a weird way.
Well,
where you're at home
it's
playing.
Game of Thrones, dude. The warging, when they would warg into, a wolf or a person.
Or the crow. You remember the crow?
The crow, yeah, the wolf. And Bran could do it into
And these guys were in different towns when they found them. Which
That's
is
crazy.
important.
So,
they're
how
all
does
like
that
30
happen?
minutes or more away from each other.
So how do you think that happens though? Oh, okay.
Well, that's what we're just saying. It's like the Matrix, right? If it happens to you while you're in the Matrix.
Okay. All right.
Now, by the same token, they did say that one of them had come up from the Four Corners area. He was a Navajo, and he was found in Duchesne. The other one was found in Roosevelt, and then the other one was found in Fort Duchesne. So, like I say, they were all around 30 minutes away from each other, more or less. And the one that came up from the Four Corners was kind of the ringleader, according to these people that we talked to. And he was kind of the one that had made this happen. And it's sort of like they're usually in threes, I found out. It's sort of like, it's kind of a special number and there's some power in it. And I've seen them like out in the field as well. Like I've seen these strange rituals where I was told where to go, what to look for. And this particular time, it was like near a waterfall. There was a red rock ridge, and they would kind of meet at specific times at the base of this red rock ridge near this waterfall and make a little fire. And they would like lean in and out of the fire. And when they would lean in, the fire would grow like exponentially, and when they would lean out, it would go down. So they were like kind of in this mantra, like this. They were doing something. They weren't there. It felt like they weren't really there. Kind of like to Johnny's point.
So, Ryan has a really great show, and he does like clips on YouTube. And he sent me this clip. Was it on YouTube or Instagram? You sent me the clip.
I can't remember. I think it
It
was
was one or
YouTube.
the other. It's probably the links below. Of something you caught on camera, and a lot of people. One thing about Ryan is like he'll send it to people that will tell him it's nothing, right? Like you're not afraid of that. It's like and that's my whole theory. If you really believe in something, you're not afraid to hear criticism of it. Like that's a big problem with like conspiracies. Like there's things they just don't want you talking about, and you're like, well, I mean, if you believe this narrative, you shouldn't be afraid to have it dissected by people that might find a fault in your argument. So Ryan sends it to a bunch of people. But Ryan, do you remember the video you sent to me? I was going to San Diego when you sent it to me. You remember it was like the coyote?
Yeah, it was very.
Do you still have
interesting.
that by chance?
Is it this Chupacabra video?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I have it right
Can
here.
you play it, Johnny?
I got it right here.
And then Ryan, I don't know if you want to turn it down so we don't have Ryan talk, but Ryan can kind of take us through it on why he thinks it might be something else.
Just give me 1 second.
Ryan, this is all crazy, dude.
All
I
right.
think I live in a crazy world.
You do.
But for some reason, I want to like be in that world too, even though
How
I'm
long?
scared.
How long could you kick it there in one of those ranches?
Listen,
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering.
Matt Rife bought that haunted house, that occult museum, and I'm like, I don't want to go near that chick. I don't want to go near that doll. Oh, here it is. So Ryan, you want to take us through this? I don't want to.
Yeah, this was caught like 4 weeks ago, and like you said, I immediately sent it to a deputy chief scientist working for a number of projects and corporations and institutes under the Secretary of Defense, and he sent it off to a bunch of people, including guys at Berkeley. And, they said, well, officially, this is what we're supposed to say, but this thing seems a little too skinny to be
Super
what.
skinny.
Yeah, it's very strange. They said the only thing we can think of is a coyote with mange, but it's got zero hair at all. Usually there's some hair.
Yeah.
There's absolutely none. And it seems more lightweight and skinnier than anyone we've ever seen that was still alive.
Oh, there it is. That's the picture. Like, look how clear that picture is.
It looks like one of those skinless cats.
Yeah.
Hairless cats. Those hairless
Totally.
cats.
So for those listening, we're looking at a black and white security video of what appears to be a four-legged animal that doesn't really fit anything that we traditionally would see, whether it's a coyote, XG saying skinny cat, which totally looks like. And it's like, so what are your thoughts that it might be? Chupacabra?
I don't know. I just know that like these cameras are silent, but it seems like it knows it's there. It looks at the camera a lot.
Yeah.
And I don't know how it would know that the camera is there. And it's hunting at night, which is not something that an animal this thin and close to death should be doing. And also, some anomalous lights appear around it, like in the background.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you. There appear to be other eyes or something in the rear, huh? In the back.
It's very crazy.
Because
we
correct
get
me if
this
I'm wrong,
stuff
this
all
is
the
recorded
time.
with like IR light, right? So anything with
Whoa, look at that.
Oh yeah, what was that at the end there?
Yeah, I don't know. We get this stuff all the time. This was just within the last 4 weeks.
It's fascinating.
But yeah,
right.
it's fun. It is fun.
Yeah.
Why do you think this area is so strange? What do you think that is?
It's huge. There's so many layers of what I like to call Murphy's Law going on. So traditionally, this area was already kind of predisposed to high strangeness. According to the indigenous tribes in the area, for 15 generations, it's been an area of high strangeness. And there was a time when the Navajo and Ute were both kind of just trying to survive, getting away from the cavalry. And one of the first Buffalo Soldier encampments, which was in Fort Duchesne, Utah, convinced the Utes to basically sell out a tribe that was in the San Luis Valley of Colorado, nearby, just over the border.
Whoa.
And according to that Navajo tribe, that this was like unforgivable, is what they called it, because they were way out in the middle of nowhere. They weren't bothering anybody. They finally found a place where they were safe, and they got sold out. And so they
to
gathered.
who they saw the Americans, the government.
Yeah, the government was just trying to clear or basically round up the natives and put them in these, what they would call forts, but they were really open air prisons. I mean, let's call them what they were. They were literally, they would say, oh, you get to go to Fort Duchesne. Like it was a nice thing, but it wasn't. It was just a place where they would feed them and keep them penned up and from bothering, the pioneers, etc. The local ranchers, whatever. And it was an ugly time in U.S. history. But the Navajos said this was unforgivable. They gathered up their most powerful shaman and witches, and they unleashed what they called the curse of the Skinwalker, which
Whoa.
This had never been done before, ever in the history of the Dene, in the history of the Navajo. This had never happened. And they said, this time it's happening. And they basically unleashed this entity to curse the land where the Ute were, which is exactly the area we're talking about.
The curse of Skinwalker. Man. Hey guys, real quick, I want to tell you about one of our favorite sponsors. That is our good friends at Wise Wolf Gold and Silver. Listen, guys, money is getting crazy. You're tightening your money. You want to hold on to all your money. You got to get in the gold and silver. You got to get in the precious metals. That money will stay set, okay? It just goes up. having it sit in your bank is going to cause you chaos when you realize your money isn't going to go far enough because it's not worth as much. You got to get into the precious metals game, and there's no better place to do that than Wise Wolf Gold and Silver. So let me tell you about Wise Wolf Gold and Silver. If you're paying attention, you know that de-dollarization is real. Fiat is fake, and you don't want to be left holding the bag when the dollar collapses. Gold and silver has been money through all of recorded history and are an excellent way to protect yourself from inflation and geopolitical turmoil. That's why I trust my friends at Wise Wolf Gold and Silver for all things precious metal. Veteran owned and an A+ rating by the Better Business Bureau. No transaction is too big or too small, and you can even roll over your 401k or IRA into physical gold and silver. And if you think you can't afford precious metals, think again. With the Wolf Pack monthly membership program, you can get gold and silver delivered directly to your door for as little as $50 a month. Wise Wolf Gold and Silver also deals in and accepts Bitcoin. So go to SamTripoli.gold, promo code tinfoil at checkout to receive free constitutional silver. And remember, in the world of bulls and bears, be the wolf. Hey guys, real quick, I want to tell you about my dates. I'm going to be in Hollywood on Tuesday, August 2nd for a comedy cast. Grab it while you can. I don't know how much longer this show is going to go, unfortunately. Huntington Beach on the 17th. Kansas City, very excited about that. Going to be a big weekend for me. Chicago, Illinois. And then go next one. Tulsa, Oklahoma City. And then, of course, I hope you all can join me. I'm going to have a big weekend. Let's go to... I'm going to be at the mothership. Grab your tickets now at samtripoli.com. Hopefully, they'll make a cute, cool little alien thing of me. And then finally Skankfest. More dates to come. And then just real quick, guys, you guys got to check out our affiliate program. We have gold and silver, which we love. And Pat Milton, I had a guy come up to me in Broadbrook, and he said he took Pat Milton's Mineral King stuff, and it changed his life. So you guys check that out. All of our affiliates are stuff that you need in your life, and we're doing special deals with them for our special listeners who love it. Detoxify yourself and all that stuff. So yeah, go check it out, samtripoli.com. Oh yeah, finally, Chaos Twins coming out too. Chaos Twins, the issues are done. We just got to get them colored and move on from there. So chaostwins.com. Let's get back to it. Now, these native curses, we've had guests on before talking about how the Wizard of Oz has a Native American curse on it because the author of the book that the movie is based on hated Native Americans, hated them, wanted them basically genocided. And the natives, took umbrage with that, obviously, got upset, and they put a giant curse on it, which, fast forward, anytime you see like something Wizard of Oz that has negative connotations to it, there's a lot of things cursed on that set. And, when we had the same guy came on, talked about Kobe Bryant's last Halloween costume with his family was the Wizard of Oz. And then he dies shortly after that. And it's like the curse of all that stuff. And then, we haven't dropped the episode as of this recording, but it's the next episode to come out about all the occult and Mormons. And the Mormons are in at the essence of it, their religion is Kabbalah, the Kabbalah, Jewish magic, and how all that stuff, like all of John Smith's family were into mysticism and stuff like that. So Utah, which was originally Mexico, has a lot of occult energy in it, dark energy, and all that stuff. So this lines up right with it. Damn, dude, that shit's crazy. That's
tons. When this first outpost of Buffalo soldiers arrived in the area, and this was kind of like where they sent them, and a lot of these were literally African slaves that were granted their freedom as long as they would do this harsh undertaking. And the majority of them
What do you mean by harsh undertakings?
basically rounding up the indigenous and putting them in these concentration camps that they would call forts, these open air prisons. And these slaves that were granted their freedom as long as they joined the cavalry were almost entirely Prince Hall Masons. So they not only had the magic prowess of being from the Caribbean and the voodoo and all of that, a lot of them were from that area, but they also had the Freemasonry aspect to it. And so there were curses all over the place. There were curses going from the Buffalo Soldiers to the indigenous, and there was curses from the indigenous towards the Buffalo Soldiers, and curses from, I mean, it was, so this was just this is just the groundwork to why this area is so strange. But there's like 10x, I mean 100x. It keeps getting weirder and weirder as generations pass. More and more weird things keep happening in these areas. They've done all kinds of stuff like dam up water in very porous sandstone areas, and this has caused all kinds of strange movement underground. Caverns have filled with water. They've put in massive power lines directly overhead where this water didn't used to be and now it is. And so the whole area is charged, and there's a bunch more. But yeah, like you said, Sam, the area is just wild. It's just wild.
Now, you gave me a list of talking points. We're kind of jumping from 4 to 4, but the occult in Utah, Bisbee, and why magicians are moving there. What are your thoughts on all that?
Yeah. So this is a strange thing. It is sort of like Sedona in the 70s.
Yes.
Is where I would say we're at now in the Uinta Basin. Where word has gotten out, people know it has these attributes. And when that happens, you get the fringe of society, the more eccentric folks kind of go out there and start putting down roots. And this is sort of what's happened. It's kind of like Sedona in the 70s.
There's just a lot of just all sorts of occults coming out there, not just necessarily Native American, but like even into the like kind of the darker stuff that maybe we're starting to see, we're starting to come to light in Hollywood and all that stuff, and cults. And I mean, again, going back to the Mormon stuff, like the stuff, the cults that have been in Mormonism are just insane.
That you'll get a perfect example. I mean, I see things now that I didn't used to see. Like people will just show up, they'll buy a property nearby, they'll just show up and start living in their van on the property, or and yeah, like setting out Tibetan prayer flags, and you're hearing bongos at night, and I've had government guys that have come out, and they're literally trying to get funding from the CIA or DARPA or Bigelow Consciousness Studies or the Monroe Institute. You get a number of different individuals that are coming out doing their own eccentric form of research or investigation and trying to get on the map as far as, getting funding from and there's lots of funding, believe it or not, guys, that comes out of the government that looking into this, like we were
The world's
talking
ran
about.
by sorcerers, dude. Of course. It's all sorcery. I mean, these motherfuckers, they like all these huge content creators still talking about money, power, and oil. Like that is just a smoke screen to what they're really about, man. Dark arts.
100%. And that's why I say my favorite guys are like the government guys that are just like tasked with some of this stuff, because they're just we're in agreement. They're like, oh, we're in a weird place. This is weird. Like, okay. But yeah, they're not about it. And I think that's why those are my favorite guys, because they are in positions where this is their job. And it's kind of fun to talk to guys like that. And it's funny because This is like a thing. There's this new thing called interference syndrome where hundreds of cases are being investigated by the government. The government's done this for so long, put people in these types of scenarios, locations of high strangeness, either as security.
Yeah, so the government's really interested in this area, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And they're like at the point where they now are doing research, believe it or not, on how to classify some of the detrimental factors, mostly brain injuries, for their employees who have been in these areas for long periods of time.
Whoa!
Yeah.
So these agents are going in and getting wrecked?
Wrecked. I was speaking with CIA agent Mike Baker, and he was telling me, I can't list the names, but there's hundreds of people. He knew people. They're calling it interference syndrome. And there were some.
Sorry to interrupt. What is it like the Havana syndrome?
Exactly. Exactly. Yep. That's the closest thing that they can find to it. When you're in an area of high strangeness for an extended period of time, your brain basically turns to Swiss cheese.
Oh my God. Now I'm not moving there.
I'm totally. And this is a good point. Like, I was supposed to have people out there for a conference next week called the Moonlight Gathering. And I had to cancel because the levels of electromagnetic frequency and radiation and stuff went too high. And they're so high that I had some guys say, you can't have people out here safely. And I had to cancel it. And I mean, it was a total buzzkill. Everybody was wanting to go. So it's something very real.
Man, people get into real estate to buy, apartment complexes to charge rent. You're buying real estate to run like paranormal expos and shit like that, huh? You're so smart, dude.
No, I'm not.
It's so crazy. It's so crazy that even these government agents are just getting shish kebabbed.
Yeah.
No, like you guys said, imagine signing up to the FBI for like normal FBI work and you end up at Skinwalker Ranch.
100%. I there's so many guys that start off like researching lava tubes for like Mars exploration, and next thing you know, they're out there in the Uinta Basin looking for aliens, and it's like, what? How do these connect? And these scans recently leaked. So this is strange. Like, a lot of people have found out that like the people have been doxxed who have these problems, what they call interference syndrome.
And what is that?
So it started back in like the late 60s. They called it UFO disease. And it was people that were in close proximity to a lot of flying craft, flying saucers, high strangeness. They started acting different. And now they call it interference syndrome. And the reason it got that name is really weird. Have you ever seen somebody that can like walk underneath a street light and it turns on and off?
Yes.
I haven't seen that, but I've heard about that. Johnny, you've seen that?
Yeah, it's a phenomenon. Yeah, I did it one time. And
Yeah,
like,
whoa,
but
Johnny's
I don't.
an
I think it was just a
imposter.
coincidence. I just think it was a coincidence.
Take your wins. Take your wins.
Take your wins,
But
Johnny.
but I've read about it pretty extensively.
I'm psychic. You're Skinwalker.
It's a
Yeah.
thing.
So that's where it kind of got its name, because they realized that these people that are in these areas of high strangeness enough, or they have close proximity to, believe it or not, even rocket scientists that are working on exotic propulsion systems get this stuff. Or if they're working with quantum engineering or quantum physics or particle colliders, a lot of these kind of fringish science positions will get this stuff. And what they're finding is they just have dead spots on their brains. A bunch of scans were, it's like Swiss cheese, but yet they get like a download. Their IQ actually goes up instead of down.
Could it be anything with the radiation?
It has a lot to do with radiation. The Department of Energy is all over it. And a lot of people have been tasked, people like Gary Nolan, Dr. Kit Green, a number of others, with basically getting ICD-10 codes for insurance companies to be able to take care of the people that have been in these areas of high strangeness for a long time.
When you say radiation, is it what we're traditional believe is radiation, like nuclear bombs and stuff like that? Are you just talking like a thick, dense energy that kind of just like you marinated it?
It's weird. That's such a good question, Sam. It's a little bit of both, but it's transient. So the findings are weird because it would be you almost have to have a Geiger counter, a lightning strike detector, and a tri-fuel meter with you at all times, which we try to do, because you'll get transient spikes of this energy. And it can literally be there one moment and gone the next, or like the case I just told you where we had this huge reading and it's not going away, and we had to cancel having people out at the property to skywatch. So it just you have to be able to test it and make sure that it is going away if you're in the area.
Do you find yourself having to drive out nightly to test it?
No, we've put in some stuff that you well, we have people that go out to the property, and there's some equipment that we keep out there all the time. So it's kind of interesting because the whole area has this from time to time, but when it's really a big spike like that, you don't want to be out there. And like my wife won't let me take my kids out there unless I can like double check and verify that everything's fine.
That is so crazy. And how far away is Skinwalker from like Salt Lake City?
It's a couple hours.
Yeah, see, the farther you get away from the big city, the more high strangeness you see. I feel like the electromagnetic energy of a big city, like you know, we talk all the time, and I'm always talking about how, like, yeah, I don't do a manual labor job, but I'm around all of this energy all the time, and this stuff zaps you. It's dirty electricity. And, we've heard like Native American elders talk about how they can't astral project anymore because there's so much dirty electricity in the atmosphere. It messes with their ability to do that. So, but when you get out into the middle of like nowhere, like Skinwalker, what's the biggest city next to it?
I'd say the closest cities are Roosevelt and Vernal.
And how,
Roosevelt's probably the closest.
and how big are they?
They're not, Vernal's the bigger one. It's an hour away. Roosevelt's about a little under a half an hour. There is a town called Fort Duchesne where this fort was, and it
Oh,
still
it's gotta
is.
be cursed, huh?
Yeah, it still is a Native American reservation. And they've had, man, they've had some amazing sightings. I think I might have sent you guys a video of one going right over Fort Duchesne near Bottle Hollow Reservoir. Like these things just fly through the air. They look like,
Oh, is it the one that says, no, that's the chupacabra from 4 weeks ago.
Is it
Can
the
you,
UAP this morning? Is that it?
oh no, that
UFO disappears.
there it is. That's it.
Okay.
UFO
All right. Hold on.
disappears. Yeah, that's right over Fort Duchesne. That's right over a town. And you'll have these things that fly over. They're just like glowing plasma, low level, and then they'll disappear behind something like a tree or a fence post or anything they can. Yeah, there you go. That's right over Fort Duchesne.
yeah, that is weird, dude. That is so weird.
Yeah, all those little lights you see there are houses right there.
Whoa.
How fast do you think that's going, if you had to estimate?
Man, I honestly don't know, XG, but it's and
Do
you
you
see
think
how
it's a ball? Oh, and just
it just
disappeared.
disappears behind a tree. So it has a lot to do with the observer. If wherever you're witnessing it from, and we find this if we whenever we do experiments, we'll triangulate. We'll put three people, three researchers, basically in a triangle formation, and if we see something, everybody sees something different. And it is all about the observer. Whatever this precognitive sentient intelligence is, the some of the brightest minds that the government has some crazy theories about it. Like they think it could be like AI, that aliens thousands of years ago came to visit, and they left these beacons of AI in the earth, and that this is waiting to, it's basically waiting for its master to come back and like pick it up or grab it. Others believe that it's more relatable to like the Native American curses, or it's always been there. And then there's like one of the more fascinating is that we had visitors from somewhere else, and it was, at a time when we had a lot more alpha predators out there, like saber-toothed tigers, dinosaurs, whatever, and that these visitors were just taken out by like our organic
Saber-tooth
badass.
just eating grays and shit.
Yeah, like eating grays. And they weren't expecting it, and that some of their technology just basically got covered up in dirt. So there's all kinds of great theories, and there are people smarter than myself that are coming up with them, but it's really interesting.
What are your thoughts on the aliens versus demons and angels take?
This is a really big one for me because a lot of the stuff that, okay, I'll break it down into an experience I had with a recent experiment. We set out a number of these little devices in the shape of the flower of life. So sacred geometry. And we powered them up. These are little Raspberry Pi computer controlled devices. We fired them up, and we immediately captured what looked like dodecahedrons flying through the air in different colors, blue and green. And the dodecahedron is sort of like a 72 faceted, so it's got 72 sides, 72 facets. It's like a 3D version, or a 5D version, I guess I should say, of the flower of life. And if you remember, I think if you go right down the middle of the Talmud, and the middle sentence, it talks about the 72 names of God, right? And then if you go to, for example, the Star of David, if you enhance that, it turns into a tetrahedron and then a dodecahedron until it gets to 72 facets. Or if you look into Solomon, of course, he imprisoned 72 principalities. So I think it's sort of like this universal consciousness can manifest itself in one of 72 different ways at any given moment. And whatever we see it as, we'll say, oh, that's an alien, or that's a demon, or that's whatever. And in reality, the issue is it could just be one of the facets that is fractally coming off of the universal consciousness, and it shows itself to us that way. But what it really is, who knows? Because a demon's not going to tell you it's a demon.
The Paranoid American and the one-on-one, they have talked about, depending on your religious beliefs, depending on how you see the world is how you see these things, right? Like atheists will see them as aliens. Religious people will see them as angels and demons. And it just goes on and on. I forget who sees Bigfoot, but cryptids. Like each one is based on how you see the world.
Well, it's that thing where, like, sorry to interrupt you, but it's that thing when you get abducted, now you think it's an alien, but people back then used to think it was Jesus. Oh, Jesus came to
Or
come get me.
angels and
Or
stuff
angels,
like that.
yeah.
Same with possessions, right? Well, here's a video that you shared with us also that's pretty fascinating. What do we got? What is this thing?
Whoa, what is that?
Yeah, that was just middle of the day. You in a basin type thing you just see sometimes.
Whoa, listen to me, dude. So when we started going on tour
So strange.
with the tinfoil hat, play that again and then stop it when we really see it, Johnny. Like right there, stop it. So when it won't stop.
No, I'm
Can't
trying to get
stop.
it in focus. It was out of focus when I hit.
Okay, there it is. So when we first went on tour with the tinfoil hat, and this is very funny because this is officially the last time I ever had a drink of alcohol. It was, you remember this, Xavier. It was Sacramento. This is how crazy this night was. It was Sacramento. We had done 2 shows in a row. I think we did Fresno to Sacramento, right?
Yes, yep.
The first night in Fresno, the PG&E showed up at our shows.
Right before the fires, guys. Right before the
right
fires.
after the fire. It was after the fires.
Right after. Yeah.
All these guys that work for PG&E were like, yeah, man, we work for PG&E. I was like, oh, that's super creepy because we've been talking about these paradise fires all the time. Next night we go to Sacramento. This gorgeous blonde with a fat rack shows up, and she's like, yeah, I work at PG&E too. Like back-to-back shows, dude. Back-to-back shows show up. But the reason this night is super interesting is because I'm sitting outside either before the show or after the show. I'm trying to remember. And this chick from Paradise comes up to me, and I've met her mom. Her mom is coming to my shows later on. And she said that she was there before the fire started. And then suddenly this long silver thing in the sky shows up. And it just gets really still. And then these lights kind of go back and forth slowly. And then they kind of go, the lights go zoop. And then a burst of light happens. And then everything was on fire. She said, all at one time. And she described it, and it looked exactly like this.
That's crazy.
Right? Exact. She said it looked like a silver cigar in the sky.
That's insane. You know what's weird? My wife recently went camping with my kids and found this beautiful camp spot.
Whoa. That's crazy.
I went out to visit to meet up with them. I was going to spend the night with them. They had gone out, rented an RV. She'd never done this before. She's driving this big RV down the road. They find this perfect place to camp. And I'm like, hey, no worries, hun. I can get there and meet up with you guys. And so I'm driving out there and I just see like smoke everywhere. And I'm like, hey, where you're sending me, it looks like there's a massive forest fire. And she's like, oh, I don't see it. I don't know what you're talking about. So anyway, I show up and yeah, they're evacuating this campground. It was Pine Valley in Utah. And I show up and I went in there and I'm like telling the campers they have to go. And I told my wife, you got to load up the dog and the kids. You got to get out of here. And they were just settling down for the night. And she had no idea that there was a fire. Nobody did. But you know what all the campers told me is we just saw something in the sky.
Whoa.
Yeah. That's crazy, Sam. That's the same thing they told me.
Because everybody and it's so funny how they try to control the narrative. So now the narrative is pew 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 these direct energy weapons. Pew pew pew, right? Like that's what they want us to believe. And we've had Jim Lee on our show before talking about how they're like way past that. Like they're manipulating weather through high and low systems, pressure systems. And now you got like the cigar thing in the sky. She didn't say it was, she didn't get into the details of its shape. That looked a little bit more bent, or like curved, but still looks like a giant cigar in the sky. And how that light just went off and suddenly there were fires everywhere. And how that stuff, this is the debate on the show, on why the buildings are gone and the trees are still there.
Yeah, that's weird.
It is weird. And we get into talk about like moisture in the trees and why the trees might be there, but the buildings are gone. But you're telling me it's a drought? Like, which one is it?
Yeah, if the trees didn't have water in them, they'd be dead.
Yeah, but the fire started because of a drought, is what they said.
Yeah, that's they always blame it on the climate change.
Johnny's a resident skeptic of everything.
Well, no, not of everything.
Of everything.
But I'm not. But
all the time.
I mean, it's also they didn't clear the underbrush they turned it into a powder keg by not clearing the underbrush and doing controlled burns and that kind of thing. That's why they're getting sued, because partly because it's their responsibility to maintain that area. And
Well, I've lived in California long enough. I've seen what drought-stricken areas look like, and there's no green. It's all brown. And I've seen it.
yeah, the grass and stuff, yeah, for sure.
The grass and the trees aren't doing well. So I've seen drought. Like 4 or
Yeah,
5 summers ago, they're like, California having horrible drought. And you just look around and it was all brown.
Yeah.
And
then in in 1 week we just got like a year's worth of rain and it was just gone like that. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Hey, Ryan, I got a question for you. What do you think about the Bledsoe family? Do you think that has anything to do? How is that anything like Skinwalker Ranch? You think that's a whole different thing?
Yeah, I'm good friends with Ryan Bledsoe.
We
I
love
haven't
them.
been out to their property, but I've had friends that have gone out there. I think it's all relatable, and there's strange. Speaking of the fires, I mean they had a bush literally catch on fire in their backyard. With people there, that happened. And, I've had 40-foot RVs just get vaporized in the middle of the day. I mean, just
Whoa.
molten metal and nothing left of it. And
Easy.
you wonder, like, is this just a lot of energy in one spot or is there something bigger going on? And your hat is insane, XG. That's dopest hat.
Oh,
Did you
thank
make that hat?
Huh?
Did you make
I
that?
just made one. I mean, I can make more. Should we make more? Should we make more, Sam? Put 'em on tinfoil hat?
NPC. Yeah, that's hilarious.
I like that.
That
too.
is hilarious. So I know you said you saw the one-eyed wolf. Are there any other weird things? Now I just want to go out there and just stare and then run for my life.
Man, you name weird is like, it's just all weird. Whatever you least expect can happen. We had a couple of bulldozers, backhoes, I guess technically, out there digging recently. And the stuff that is found, I mean, you'll find all kinds of animal parts. Oh, and that's another thing. Not just under the ground. You'll have like bloody legs, paws, animal parts just fall out of the sky.
What?
Into the ground.
Whoa.
Yeah, I swear, Sam, I swear. You'll just have bloody, warm to the touch, like a deer leg or, different animals fall out of the sky, parts to them just fall out of the sky. And you'll walk somewhere, you'll turn around, you'll walk back, and it's right there. And it wasn't there a second before.
Oh my God. You got pterodactyls, dude.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
wouldn't
it's the
doubt that
craziest
shit.
thing, man. I don't know I don't know where they come from. Some people call them apports. I have no idea.
What is
but
an apport?
it's a great party trick. An apport, I guess I could be butchering this, but it's like basically something just manifesting out of nothing and falling in an area. Coins. I recently, funny story. I recently took up a buddy of mine from Vegas. We went up fly fishing, and on the way, he's a big time CPA in Vegas, and he doesn't believe in any of this stuff. And on the way, like as we're driving, I'm like, hey man, just so you know, remember I told you we could like crash out at my ranch on the way up? And he's like, yeah, that's perfect. And I'm like, well, let me just so you know, let me give you a little heads up. Things sometimes get a little weird. He's like, I don't believe in any of that. Don't worry about it. So we get up there, and almost immediately there's just like a light show in the sky. And the guy is just like mesmerized. Like, what is going on? He's all freaking out. And then later at night, we're asleep, and we hear this like motorcycle that like literally is on the property. And there's like these two chicks in leather, like dominatrix dressed,
I'm listening.
with like lasers and like devices. And he wakes me up and he's like, Ryan, what the heck's going on out there? And I'm like, I told you it can get weird. And the guy's losing his mind. And he's like, I'm going out there. And I'm like, I wouldn't. and he goes out there. I remember this conversation was hilarious. He goes out there up to these two chicks dressed in leather. They look like Tomb Raider. And he goes up to him and he's like, "What are you doing out here? We're trying to sleep." And I remember they said, "Sir, we're working." And he just came back inside. And he's like, "This place is so messed up."
Some large Marge shit. They're gonna pull off the mask and it's like,
Yeah, he was like,
nuts, dude.
he was like, "Ryan, either you just spent like tens of millions of dollars to entertain me, or there's something weird about this place." And I'm like,
Do you still talk to this guy? I wonder if he went
Yeah.
any deeper. And he's like, "Bro, I've been looking at this shit. What's up
Right.
with those missing Russian hikers and shit?"
What about cattle? What is it? Cattle mutilation or whatever? Do you find any of that? You said there's missing animal parts. Any of that? Any like where you know how they have like the perfect cuts, no blood missing, all that? That's also found there too.
Yeah, yeah. We just got a major cattle operation just contacted me this month to investigate its third mutilation.
You're
And-
basically Ghostbusters. People call you up with yeah, hello, Ghostbusters. And you're just like, and you have to go solve crimes in the paranormal.
Yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, everything XG said. They have usually sexual organs are gone, eyes, tongues, the rear end, and it's usually cauterized and very strange little things like they'll cut the ear with the tag on it and put it somewhere almost like a placeholder. But yeah, this was the third one. This is a huge ranch. They manage over 48,000 acres. And the owner contacted a friend of mine who then contacted me to go out and investigate the third one they've had this happen to. And what's really crazy about this one that just happened, XG, is this guy saw trapezoidal figures. One of them had horns near the area. And he said that, you know, he's worried that there might be something more. He had law enforcement come out and investigate, and the law enforcement thought that it was like a satanic cult or something like that out of a nearby area. But I don't know. I actually next week I have to go and bag this thing up and put it in cold storage, what's left of it. So life is weird.
You really are. Dude, you live such an interesting life. You got to go bag up some violated cows.
Yeah, I got to bag it up and put it in cold storage.
For what? For evidence for future, just in case? Or what? Wouldn't you just burn it? Wouldn't you just?
So
Get rid of it?
it's funny because the people I reached out with are like, "Oh, we're all over it, but we can't come now." So you've got to put it in cold storage. We'll get to it in a few weeks. And so I literally have to go in the middle of nowhere, bag this thing up, and then take it and put it in cold storage, and then we'll see where it.
You should record that, just that alone. Just you showing
good
up
idea.
to this fucking cow that has no blood on it. Record it, upload it. I think it would, dude. That's insane. That's
a good idea. I never thought of that.
That's
actually.
a fun life, dude. It's a lot more interesting than anybody else's. I'll tell you that right now. It's so insane, dude. So I have this theory that the old gods that may have been wiped out or sent into hiding during the flood, right? The big flood. I feel like they want to come out and play. I feel that they've been in the shadows long enough that it's time. They're like, I got enough of this. And that's why you're seeing all this satanic shit in Hollywood way more than it used to be. Like, we used to listen to rock, be like, yeah, shout out the devil. Yeah, fuck you, mom and dad. I'm going to live my life. And then you just start to realize that, like, how dark that shit was and what we were yelling at the time. And now it's like so blatant. Like, they're trying to make kids shows about Lucifer. They're trying to make all this stuff. What are your thoughts on like why we're seeing this uptick in all this craziness?
I think you're onto something, and I think the old gods, whatever you want to call them, people have been seeing this stuff since the beginning of time, but they just describe it differently, right? And it's funny that recently I came across. Have you guys heard of Shambhala?
No.
Okay, so Shambhala is allegedly this mythical paradise in Tibetan Buddhist tradition, and they basically say it's like a semi spiritual or ethereal versus like a physical location, and there's all these writings in Tibet about it. And interestingly enough, one of the places that they claim Shambhala is or has been is right here in the shapeshifter territory in the Uinta Basin of Utah, like right
What?
smack, yeah, right
That's
smack
interesting.
dab, same exact spot, written, a long time ago, and they're like, this is one of the spots, and I thought this is so weird.
That's funny. The only Shambhala I know is that Three Dog Night song. Do you guys remember that?
Yeah.
Shambhala.
Sing it, Johnny.
No, I'm not going to sing it.
Come
Oh,
on,
Come on.
please, Johnny.
my,
You got a great
my phone's
voice.
about to go. Look at this. My
You
camera
got a
died.
great voice, Johnny. We would
Oh,
love to
man,
hear
you
you
guys
sing
missed it, guys.
Shambhala.
It was
Shambhala. Is
All
that
those-
It was a
song?
big song, though. It was a big
all
song.
those concerts you go to, Johnny, and you don't have a voice.
Johnny, is that a Shambhala?
Yeah, that's it, Sam. That's it.
But that also lines up with we've had Dr. Narco Longo on, and I've seen him like getting in weird debates with other content creators. I enjoy his research. He's talked about how like the Garden of Eden might be here. Islam was started in Mexico. The United States is old Egypt, based on, stuff in the Grand Canyon and other things. These giant anchors that they're found in Florida that make no fucking sense on where they are, why they would be there. So what you bring up is like, let's face it, America is special. That's why there's this kind of war that you don't see anywhere else on us culturally. Maybe, like I'm not saying that they don't have like propaganda. I mean, I was on a show with somebody and with a woman who had just moved to Russia. She was so over the United States. I'm like, have fun. And I said that America is as propagandized as the North Koreans. And she kind of scoffed at that. But I really do believe it. I really do believe that we are just saturated in propaganda. It gets into a debate Johnny and I had about how Islam treats women, how the
They
West
don't even
treats.
get any. I mean, we get disinfo. They get zero info. I mean, the only thing I don't know about that.
Oh, they get that like Kim Jong Un just shot 18 on an 18-hole golf
yeah.
course, and they're
And
like,
they get
oh my
like
God,
one channel,
one
with
shot
just
each thing, So
all state media. There aren't any independent journalists working in North Korea. You know what I mean?
100%. So they're propagandized one way and we're propagandized the other way with like, this is the our democracy is the best democracy as Palantir's coming in and, you have to get a vaccine and you have no choice in that, at least in some states. And, that, and the more and more I start thinking about like, there's something very very special about America and the amount of anti-American propaganda that is pushed on us from the elites makes me wonder what they're trying to hide.
Yeah, you're 100% right, Sam. I was just reading about the haplogroup X gene, haplo X group which is basically, we're taught that the Aztecs were in Mexico. But what they're finding out is that the Aztecs actually started in Utah and moved down to Mexico.
What?
Yeah.
Whoa.
They were like, forget this weather. We're going down to where it's nice. And they're actually, at first, it started out like a crazy theory, but like they're proving it. Like the Aztecs were actually up in the high deserts of Utah. And you run into this all the time.
Is
like,
that what the theory? Is that behind the theory with the Bering Strait?
It might be. I mean, a lot of these are connected. The like the Lovelock Cave and the giants that they found in various caves. I mean, indigenous cultures have talked about the Siteka and like all these things that we now call like, oh, this is crazy. I mean, basically describing things like the Kandahar giant, right? For like,
Yeah, I was just thinking about that.
I mean, and there's proof. We're finding proof of it. I just talked to a guy named Dan Dillman and a couple other guys, and they found a body in Utah. Of all people, it was a UK hiker, and he was just hiking along. He finds this body. It makes the news, but then they realize that the body's like too big. Like it's too big. Like it's giant, and it's turned in like a whole thing. But we see this over and over again throughout time. And back in the day, I liked that the tribal elders would just say, "Yeah, we found a giant." They wouldn't sugarcoat it. Now it's like everything gets brushed under the rug, and it's kind of like hidden from us.
And again, it just like they corral us into these big cities where you can't see any of that. And like we just get sold on big city life. But what's really out there? I mean,
Sam, I'll tell you. Like you were asking, what kinds of things have been found, and I'm not lying. Shells the size of a truck hood, like seashells the size of the hood of a vehicle.
whoa.
Yeah, just right around Space Wolf research there. So it's insane. These are things that I mean, when I we know that the land has changed, the world has changed. Water used to cover a lot of it, but what kind of an animal, even if it's just a clam or something, to be that big is insane. Just imagine what else was around back then.
Yeah. I mean, and I think when we think of the world, we think it's small, but it's really big. And then you get into, is there more territory as you go farther out, whatever that discussion is? And like with the with the tree with these giant tree stumps that look like mountains, but they also look like tree trunks. And we're like, oh, that's too big to be a tree. And you're like, is it? I mean, depending on how big the world actually was and what that might have what that tree could have represented at some point. Like, dude, the world could have been completely different way back in the day. Like giants. I mean, and when we get into fallen angels, everybody starts thinking that's only Christian. Well, the Vedics talked about it, and the Hindus talk about it. They talk about entities being trapped down here by God. And then you get into demiurge stuff. It's all so crazy, right? I mean, I've said this before, I'll say it again. The world is basically every movie you've ever seen all happening at one time. Are there dragons? I don't know. Still, possibly. I mean, we don't have this world totally under surveillance right now. And even if they did, would they ever show us? Would Elon Musk, Starlink just found a dragon, and then they'll show it to us? I doubt they'll even do that because that brings up mysticism, and they want mysticism for us and just NPCs. They want mysticism for them and NPCs for us.
Yeah, yeah. They have the good parties, the eyes wide shut parties, and they want us at like the church socials.
Yep. Yeah, they're doing all the mysticism activities, and then they're just trying to get us to just think that we're viruses on a rock hurling through space. And they want our kids dumb, and they want their kids to know all the ancient knowledge.
Yeah, man. Like we were invited. This is funny. I had a few researchers up, and there was a new guy in the area. And he's like, come over to the property and, say hi and hang out. We'll vibe. And we went over, and this was a government guy that worked for, he was a government employee. And we show up and he's, you know, the vibe is strange, but we're kind of like rolling with it. And pretty soon as the night goes on, like there's this like altar that's kind of also a pedestal, and he's got like a microphone, and he hands me some stuff to read, and I'm like reading something, and everybody's having a good time still. And then next thing you know, there's like I kid you not, Sam, I kid you not. The guy brings out like there's like a skull, like a human skull, and he takes the top off and pours red fluid in it, and he's passing it around to people. And it was like very surely, slowly but surely, the night got so weird that I was like, what are we doing here? Like, we need to get the heck out of here, man.
Dude,
But
your
yeah,
parties are crazier than our parties. Oh man, I thought my Coke parties were nuts. You're drinking of skulls, dude. And is it like just a bunch of hippie chicks out there? Do you ever see weird witches and stuff?
Yeah. There's I've seen, yeah, interesting naked chicks around big bonfires, and one guy hanging from hooks out of a tree over a fire. Like it can get really weird at night.
Whoa, bro. I'm like, okay, this isn't my party.
I know I have a I mean, I don't know how much of a friend he is, but I know a guy who hangs like that for spiritual stuff. He says, and he's hanging from trees back and forth. And
What do you
crazy.
mean by hanging?
Hanging by hooks that go into his knees and his back, and they think it's spiritual, and females do it to release. I don't know. It's fun, but I can have him on. It's to him, it's spiritual. I don't know if I've seen the video. It's crazy. I'm sure the guy sees the same thing.
Same thing. Yeah, this was a spiritual vision quest, is what they claimed.
Yeah.
Maybe through pain you can see stuff. That's
all
how
it does
feel.
is all it does is show you how strong the human body is. They're hanging,
or the
from their
spirit
skin.
is that they can go through that.
Yeah, or the spirit. Yeah, it's
Oh
insane.
my God, that's so crazy. Ryan, this has been great, dude. Thank you so much for coming on. We appreciate you. And one more time, tell them where they can find you.
You bet. Hero Paranormal on YouTube, or heroparanormal.com, or spacewolfresearch.com, or you can find those both on social media.
Well, Ryan, I love you. You're a big part of my life, so I appreciate you spending some time with me. I always love our conversations with our friends. So thanks for coming on. Let's break down the episode. All right, guys. What'd you think of my boy, Ryan Burns?
I don't know. I think I'm willing to risk a little bit of my health to go to Skinwalker Ranch.
You got
Just a
bad
little
knees, dude. Can you run fast enough?
I don't know how many more holes in your brain can you stand.
Yeah, I mean, dude, we're barely functioning here right now.
After all the drug use, you know,
If it wasn't for the microdosing, we might be in trouble.
your brain is just one big hole as it is.
But Johnny wants to go. I mean,
He's
Johnny
got the
wants-
brain for it. He's got the brain for it.
I am. I mean, when you hear that shit, how could you not be?
Johnny, what if we show up with tinfoil hats on our head?
Hey, some people say that really. I mean, that's how the tempo hat thing started.
Yeah, let's go to
work.
let's go to Skinwalker with little tinfoil hat helmets, like space helmets, and we'll just walk around and look at stuff.
We'll just put it inside of our baseball hats. Nobody will notice. We all wear baseball hats.
I wish I would ask Ryan when he saw the one-eyed wolf, did he just sit there? Like, I wouldn't know what to do, because if you hit in reverse, does it chase you?
I don't know.
Or
dude.
do you just sit there and shit your pants?
Oh, remember on Broken Sim, we had that girl call that time and said they got chased by something like that? Remember that? And she said then they drove in their car away from it, and it was like keeping up with them. So yeah,
I don't know what to do.
I heard when I chase the one-eyed wolf, it's something completely different.
What are you talking about? Vagina?
No, Sam.
Okay.
A hairy vagina, one-eyed wolf.
Johnny's getting that 80s bush. That's how he goes.
You
That's
guys
his
gotta-
paranormal hunting.
You don't know. You can't. That's to explain it is crude, boys.
No,
gotta-
we love when magicians tell us how to do their
We don't
magic.
like working
So
blue on
you
this
break
show.
down your joke right there. We really love it. It'd be great. I don't know, dude. That stuff scares me. I do want to go buy property out there, though. I do want to own a little piece, hang out in the van, just a big. So when
You're
I
hanging
went
out in the van. Yeah, come on, dude. You're not hanging out in the van.
Dude, my dream is to eventually just travel around in an RV.
with nowhere to take a dump.
Well, that's why
your
you
number
go.
one
You
worry.
shit in the RV, dude.
You're not
What,
supposed
like
to
the
shit in
guy
an
that
RV.
lives in your front yard?
Hold on, you don't shit. Who said you're not supposed to shit
Well,
in
you
an
said
RV?
a van. And I'm
Okay.
Yeah, I
talking
know,
about a van.
but that I know, but
Okay,
don't-
okay, I've been in an RV a couple times. You don't really want to shit in an RV. It's for emergencies. Like,
Well,
it
that's
starts
what
to
they tell you
smell.
when it's not your RV that is for emergency.
yeah, that's
But-
exactly. Actually,
No.
nobody wants your sloppy Mexican shit. Everyone's go outside in the
They're
woods.
just gonna shit in the RV and then drive around with your shit in the RV for days.
I mean, what's the point of having a
I
bathroom?
mean, it's not in the middle of the floor, dude. It
I
goes
know
down into a tank.
there's a
I
toilet
don't
there,
know.
you
I
idiot.
don't know. I've been in one, and I don't know. Maybe there was too much shit, but it started to smell. And I was like, all right, that's not working out. You gotta flush. You gotta empty it out. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I mean,
Yeah.
I would be pulling all the time, dropping deuces at gas stations, and that's a risk in itself. You ever been in a gas station bathroom?
I have.
It's like Saw. It's a horror film.
The move is to go to the ones where the truckers. You'd think those would be filthy. They're not, dude. They keep them. They got showers and
There's a
like,
lot of money in truck stops. They're
Yes.
very important.
yes.
Yeah, where the lizard lot's gonna take a shower, Johnny.
Yeah, Johnny, where are they going to wash off your DNA? Well, all
I'll
I
tell
got
you, the thing where I pointed at the street lamp was I was walking one night and I had just studied that thing. Like I had just done some reading about it. And I was like, all right, I'm going to point it. In my head, I was like, I'm going to point at this light. If this is a real thing, this light will go off right now. And it went off like that. And it freaked, dude, like for days,
shut
it
up,
freaked me out,
Johnny.
bro.
Shut
It-
up.
And then I tried to do it again though, and it didn't work. So
They go, you got it. We don't have to keep
it
doing
freaked
this.
me out though, bro. Like proper.
Johnny, what if it worked again? Would you not be here right now? When you just be like Doctor Stranging it all over the place, walking
Well, yeah,
around?
what use is that? All you can
Johnny
do is
walks
turn off
around with a
street lights?
weird cape
Like-
on and just doing this to everybody.
At least let me turn, the light green at the stoplight. That would be useful, but not turning off streetlights. That's like the dumbest superpower.
Hey, real quick, guys, real quick, go to SamTripoli.com. I mean, dude,
Yeah, we'll
dates-
get back to street lamp talk in a second.
No, but I want to talk about that silver thing. I mean, how crazy is that? But go to SamTripoli.com. Everything's there. By the way, I don't watch porn, but I try to find picture of porn stars. Not naked, I put. All of a sudden it comes up. But this girl in the middle, I know
Where
her.
is that?
Well, it's very interesting that she actually, I don't want to get too much into it, but I tried to find just non-nude porn pictures, and of course porn came up, but I don't figure it's a slip. Nope. I'm owning it. It's not a slip. I didn't try to
Hey,
look at porn.
You didn't touch your dick while you watched it,
Nope,
right?
didn't
You're good.
didn't even get
You're good.
wood, buddy.
You're
So
good.
all of
You're good.
my dates are, all my videos are there.
Who
all
is
my
she in the middle?
I forget, Sierra Leone.
Oh, Sierra Leone.
Sierra Leone, I believe is her name. But anyways, very
Why
interesting.
would she call her? So why don't you call yourself Gaza Strip or something?
Well, she's Indian.
Crazy.
She's
Oh, really?
Indian.
Oh, that's okay.
And here's what's crazy about her. She got murked in her own house.
Isn't
like,
Sierra
I
Leone
knew-
in Africa though?
I don't know. Look at Sunny Leone or something like that is her
I'll
name.
look her
Don't
up
look
right
it
now.
up. Don't look it up. Don't look it up.
Yeah, Sierra
That's
Leone's
deep.
in Sierra Leone's in
all
Africa.
right. Not
bro.
looking it up.
Don't look it up.
Sierra
man.
Leone's in West Africa.
I don't want to look it up, but this is a very interesting story about her. She was she's an Indian porn star. They basically put a bounty on her head when she got really big in India, and then at one point they just loved her, and then she became like a Bollywood star, and then they found her in her house, basically unalived.
Was it kind of like a Mia Khalifa when she wore the hijab and then people
Wait,
kind of
what?
wanted to kill her?
She's dead?
Yeah, she's dead.
No, she's not.
Sunny Leone.
This says Sunny Leone is a Canadian American actress. And
I must have gotten the wrong name, Johnny. I don't know if you want to put
I mean,
in.
this is the woman in the picture, and that woman is alive, and she is Indian.
Okay, Johnny. Now we're in a whole different show.
What? You're just giving us porno disinfo here.
I know Johnny was about to jerk off to a dead lady. Now she's not dead.
Where did Sam go?
Oh, she's not dead. You're right. I could have sworn the story was that she had passed. Wow. Okay. I thought she died.
You can still.
Well, I'm
jerk
glad
it.
she's alive because I knew her back in the day. So I'm
And
happy
you
she's
still
alive.
know her. Yeah.
Okay,
She's
Johnny.
alive.
Thank you. Then you go. All my premium content is there. Dude, nothing but fire going on in the premium content
Look
here.
at those thumbnails. Look at those thumbnails.
Yeah, I'm not making them. I'm just stealing pictures off the internet. I make no illusions of that. I like, does this look like it? And I just post it.
You know,
'cause
you can just drop those into AI and say, "Hey, change this just a little bit," and it'll do it. And
I don't know how to do that with
Chat GPT. There's a little button. You upload the picture and say, "Hey, can you just alter this just a little bit?" And then
Okay, Johnny, unlocking new potential. So I'm putting up 3 a week all the time, 2 deep dives. If I can get an interview going, I'll do that. And then, of course, whatever this is, which is the greatest conversation on the internet. Cash Daddy's Patreon, Johnny, what do you think?
Howie, yeah, it's been just running through the world of finance. Great couple of weeks. Destroyed it.
Yep, he's just killing it, dude, and we're proud of that.
Look at that thumbnail.
Look at that thumbnail.
That woman, that crazy woman from the Bureau of Labor Statistics.
Yeah, I mean, Trump is such an enigma, dude. He's just such an enigma.
He really, yeah, he's
just nuts. But go check it out. Patreon.com/Cash Daddies. New t-shirts are coming out, guys. I have Wood Army coming out. If you're in the Wood Army, all right. And then I'm so excited. They're not up yet. They will be up very soon. I'm putting up Modern Day Prophets, me and my peanut butter hair. So that will be coming out soon too. And then a couple other ones I'm working on. So go check out tinfoilhattshirts.com. What else do we got, Johnny? Oh, and then all of our affiliates, dude. Like I said earlier, man, Harley Ray, Prometheus, and Brain Supreme is just fire, dude. Brain Supreme, if you love XG's questions, and they've been on point lately, it's the microdosing. So yeah, that's crazy. Anyways, back to the show. Did you guys have anything you want to throw in there real quick?
Go to XG Marks the Spot. I got a new vlog out there. Go check it out, please. Thank you. XG Marks the Spot on YouTube.
And don't forget about Johnny real quick.
Yeah, just find me on Twitter at Johnny Woodard.
And Tinfoil Hat YouTube. Go check that out.
Please.
Oh, dude, we're up this 1.6 thousand.
Look at that. We're rocking.
Yeah, I mean, dude, it's growing. So we're thankful. Hopefully, it will get up to where it used
10.
to be.
Let's get to 10. Let's get to 10 by the end of the year, people. Please.
I would love to have 10,000 subscribers. Please join us. Help us. Help you. Help us. Help you. Back to the show. So, anyways, that cigar video really blew my mind because I remember that woman telling me that as that smoking hot PG&E chick was sitting next to me, with her fat rack, and she was
I remember her. She did have a fat rack.
They have the data on me. They know what I fall for. And she said that, and then you see that video. It's like kind of crazy, right?
Yeah. I mean, that thing was weird, dude. It was metallic, clearly, but it wasn't solid. It was kind of like waving almost, like
it was like kind of bent like that. If
bizarre,
you're listening, you should go try to find the video so you can see it. It was nuts. And Ryan's great. Ryan is a great guy, hard worker. And he's just man, but the stuff he's seen is so nuts.
I'm with his wife. Don't bring the kids to Skinwalker Ranch. I don't care how many times you tested it for radiation or whatever you're testing. Don't take the kids to Skinwalker Ranch.
Yeah, the kids don't need to go until they're older.
Yeah. Keep them at home.
But it's like, I'm surprised there's not a TV show about something like Ryan, just this kind of paranormal fixer. He has to go in and clean it up.
Yeah.
And then like a Ghostbusters meets the X-Men, X-Files type of thing.
I'd watch that. Yeah.
I'd watch that too, dude. I think that'd be fire. It's crazy, dude. The world's a lot more crazy than you think. And that's why you got to get out of the big city, dude. You got to get out of the big city. LA is for 20 and 30-year-olds. If you're in the 20s and 30s, it's amazing. Outside of that, you got to get out of LA. You can enjoy in your 40s, but I'm telling you, dude, once you get past that, it's like I go to the Comedy Store. I did Story Wars. I didn't come in last place. I don't think the other two guys are just crushing.
I just don't understand what Story Wars is. What is that?
Basically, you tell them a story and they have to. It's a really good show.
A
it's
real
really
story?
Fun. Yeah.
So it's
but
like
I made a mistake.
Ari Shaffir's unnamed storytelling show.
No, not like that at all. It's basically I gave them a paragraph of story and they only need 2 lines. And They would put up a story, you read it, and then you have to guess whose story it is, and everyone's fighting
Oh, it's
with
a
each other.
contest. Okay.
Yeah, and Josh Potter crushed last night, and he won. Then Mayhem Miller, he wants to come on the show. I'm gonna get him on the show.
Yeah.
Dude is a juggernaut, dude. Dude is a juggernaut.
At this game?
He's hilarious. He's a great comic. He's super fast, and he's just balls to the wall. Everybody killed. Luis J. Gomez crushes. Dude, Big J is easily one of the fastest dudes I've ever met in my life. You know, so I have to pick my points when I'm on a panel with that. It went well. I made a Jew joke early. Didn't go over well. We'll see how the reception to that is.
No,
I'm like,
really
you
nice.
you drew a guy with a big nose. Which Jew is it on this panel? I go, oh, Big J. Silence. I'm like, okay, no Jew jokes tonight. No Jew jokes. I'm like, dude, I make fun of everybody. You know, it was dude, I make fun of everybody. I don't know if but there's a froid on me right now from the black comedy community right now. They're
Yeah,
not
that's
very
what we've
happy.
heard, huh?
That's what the word on the
Chad's
street
smart,
is. Not happy. Look at XG's like I've been hearing some shit.
I was there. You decided to drop the N word, and then the guy after you don't even know his name.
Yeah.
That was the worst part. Is who's the guy, and then you hear it's a black guy, and I was like, "Fuck."
No. Yeah, I talked about I'm Broken Sim. So that's the show. That's everything, guys. Anything else?
Hit that like button, subscribe, and leave a review, please, guys.
All right. Enjoy the highlights.
Here's a clip from the latest Broken Sim.
So I found the Bill Burr thing you were talking about. Yeah, it was Variety, as you said. Now it's clear who he's coming for here. Let me share my screen.
Who do you think he's coming for?
I mean, it's Rogan, etc. It's obviously, which is surprising to me. But all right, this is from
that's
Reddit.
just nuts.
This is Burr. There's an ugliness out there right now where if you're a racist, if you're an anti-Semite, if you're a psycho-nationalist, and you want a softball interview, there's podcasts out there where you can get one.
I just cannot believe
This is clearly directed at like Theo Von, that kind of thing. They will laugh at your effing bad jokes and give you this pass. There's a really ugly thing going on out there, and we've already seen what it does to a nation, and it's not the way to go.
I mean, dude, these people on the left. I mean, I love Bill Burr, and like that's not even the part that he gets into.
Well, there I got more of it if you want.
If you get the audio, you can hear the audio of it.
Oh, I thought it was a written thing.
He does a lot of stuff. He does a lot. Like he says some good stuff in there. This thing with the podcast thing, this is so obvious what is happening. It's so obvious. Like, okay, if you think that's directed at Joe Rogan, and you think that he's being used by Trump, why did he invite Kamala Harris on to come under the exact same rules? I don't understand this thing. I just don't understand it. Like there are female progressive comedians who were on Hillary Clinton's Apple TV show. This is a woman who illegally assassinated Muammar Gaddafi and has caused illegal slave trades in modern day. All right? This is a woman right now that's coming out that she illegally wiretapped a sitting president. This is worse than Watergate. Like, what is everybody talking about here? These arguments are in bubbles.
Then ran interference for another president who illegally murdered people for a decade almost.
It's just crazy to me. Like, listen, guys, I know you guys think I'm some kind of conservative. I am not. I'm on nobody's team. Ronan, dog. I'm not on both sides, so I can see what both sides are doing. This isn't a delusion that the left has come up with, that somehow these right people did something that the left has been doing for 20 years. That's why nobody watches their stuff. That's why these brands are dead. The Daily Show, the Saturday Night Live, all these new news networks. That's why they're dead, because they played partisan politics and hid the truth from everybody doing softball interviews. Like this notion that it's only because Donald Trump got in, and it's the notion that somehow Joe Rogan, Andrew Schultz, and Theo Von got Joe Rogan elected. Do you understand how ridiculous that is? This is a woman who was such a bad candidate They had to rig the Democratic primary and not allow anyone to run against her. Like, what are we talking about here? What are we talking about?
So here's the I couldn't find. I don't think there's. I couldn't find audio.
No, I heard the audio the other day.
Oh wait, okay. It's on Vulture originally. All right, hold on. Oh, it's all right. Anyway, I'll read the quotes. I couldn't find it on X anyway. Are you seeing this right here? What I'm looking at?
Yes. Oh yeah, here it is. Yeah, that's it.
Wait, that was it back there?
Yeah.
This?
Yeah, that was part of it. But God, I listened to it. It's like you don't realize how much passion he has when he's talking about this. You know?
Can you hear that?
Yeah. No, that's not. It's can barely hear it. You know, it's just like I don't get it, dude. I just don't get it. And you know, do I think Bill Burr is woke? I don't think he's woke. You know,
I'll just read some of the excerpts here about. He says they're talking about Ben Shapiro, who blasted Bill Burr for going woke, and Burr says he doesn't even know what that word means. His definition of woke is white liberals' definition of woke, and they didn't even know what it was. They just took the word from black people. That's the worst thing about our boy. He really is
unbelievable, dude. It's just unbelievable. Like just this notion that like someone owns something in this country.
Yeah, it's
so crazy to me.
That's the worst thing about our people. Not only do we take from other cultures, we don't even take the time to understand the definition. He sounds like a black nationalist.
Yeah,
right?
I just don't understand it.
That effing guy he said about Shapiro. Now, Shapiro, idiot, obviously.
Yeah, we agree.
Yeah, he was trying to bring me into his fold at one point. The guy liked me, and then all of a sudden, I'm an effing asshole. I'm supposed to look at that guy like he's an adult, which fine with that. He said that he responds to criticism that he took off online after a certain portion of the right kind of got behind him. He said racist.
And you listen to this, I can understand why you're upset, dude. I mean, I can understand.
Yeah, with this part right here. Yeah, of course. Racist. They're racist. They send pictures of monkeys to me and my wife. They're effing horrible people and they're cowards and they never say it to your face. There's an ugliness up there right now. And this is that other part of that we read already. They will laugh at, that's the part about the interview. Anyway, I trash them both because that's my job, talking about both sides. I can't fix the political system, but when I do stand up, if I start trashing like Trump, I'd hear the left and the crowd go, yeah. And I'd be like, you voted for the guy that is staring off into space. Your guy literally should be in a effing home talking about Biden there. What are you patting yourself on the back for? I mean, he's clearly... I mean, it's his wife is infected his thinking. It's obvious, right?
Well, he's smart, dude. You want to sleep on the couch, dude?
No, I mean, yeah, I get it.
Just the way it is, dude. You know, and I'm fine with it. But the way people break down that interview is like, and that he gets that a lot, dude. Like they'll just take snippets and blow it up. But it's like this notion of going after like all these guys. And I don't even know if he was talking about Rogan. Maybe he was just talking about like Shapiro.
Maybe, yeah, but I mean, when did? Yeah, I think it's pretty obvious when he said.
Well, you know, as somebody who's has a line drawn, which is going after people's family, like I don't do that unless they get in the family business, right? Like I can understand that people sending those pictures to your wife would upset them and he's totally right about being cowardly. It's just like so much of like all the shit talking on Twitter comes from guys. Bots, whatever, with fake names and fake pictures. And it's just, I can understand why he'd be fucking upset.
Block them all.
That's what you got to do, dude. And it's like, Johnny got it right, man. Well, you got to block these people before, you know, the Twitter gets weirded and they delete your account.
Yeah, that's exactly.
You know, you got to do it, dude.
You sent me this story right before we recorded here. So, Matt Rife, I guess, has a death wish.
Bro, this is the weirdest story, dude.
It really is. So we just had that story last week or 2 weeks ago about the occult researcher who died after handling the Annabelle doll. Well, comedian Matt Rife has purchased the famous occult museum home to the Annabelle doll. It's all his now. This is from E! News. Matt Rife is taking his crowd work to a new dimension. Boy, that's really clever. Indeed, the comedian revealed that he purchased the Connecticut home of Ed and Lorraine Warren, which has been the inspiration for multiple famous horror films. We know about all of those. And with that purchase came the responsibility of being the legal guardian for at least the next 5 years of the entire haunted collection, including the Annabelle doll.
Bro, it's just dark arts, bro. And I love Matt Rife. You know, every time I've had a conversation with him, he's been a nice dude.
Yeah.
But man, when you literally say, I just bought an occult museum.
Yes, it's why did you do that? Sorry, I'm plugging in this fan. So.
I mean, there's things I don't want to get too deep in. Like, I just, you know me, dude, I don't like to go after comics.
Well, no, but there have been a lot of questions about his rise, right? Like,
well, you know, I heard him making a joke to somebody about how he sold his soul. I told you that a long time ago, right? You remember that?
Yep.
And he's like, yeah, I sold my soul. And I was like, I know I heard that. I go, what, dude? You know me, dude. I'm like, what? I don't know, dude. It's fucking nuts.
Do you think, I mean,
that's a creepy ass thing to buy.
It's also, I mean, just to say that is bizarre.
And then to do an announcement on it. I mean,
I don't know. What do you think? I mean, I wonder, is he,
bro,
I mean,
I
you
ain't
know,
going
is he into
near
that stuff?
those
Like, is
dolls.
he famously into that stuff?
I've never heard that. I mean, maybe he is. I mean, he had a travel show where he did with some guys on his podcast. I don't know what his show was before, but dog, who hears about a guy dying and then be like, I want to buy that?
Maybe that's the best time to buy it. You know, everybody's afraid. You get in low, bro. Like the Palisades, get in low, buy low.
Oh yeah, dude. Hey, dude. Hey, you get a call from your real estate guy. Listen, listen. We have a golden opportunity here. We got a doll that just killed somebody. And it's at its lowest value possible.
If you'd like to hear the rest of this episode, subscribe to Broken Simulation in your podcasting app or check us out at youtube.com/SamTripoli.
We go deep, homeboy. Aaron, open your mind. Drink from the fountain of knowledge. There's lizard people everywhere. That's some interdimensional shit. Wake up, Aaron.
This is only the beginning.
Dude, you just blew my mind.
Tinfoil hack.